thought you said something very interesting, that you can never really know yourself until you're in that marriage, because there's a way this person will provoke you to release something that you never even thought you had. So, what if I said someone should just enter, try, and then get into the real marriage?
You have to appreciate that there's a level of knowledge you'll never really get to.
Okay.
Self-discovery that you'll never really get to. But you need to get the level of satisfaction. But at least there are a few minimums about myself I know, and a few minimums I know, because the few minimums when I know, then I can know what I'm looking for.
Yeah.
Then now from there I can proceed forward. But if I don't know some of the minimums, then I'll guess with anyone. Then I'll use more of their data to teach me about myself. But I'm saying that I have already my core data, but I'll never have absolute data. Yeah, because many people write on their CVs that I work well under pressure. You see, and they believe they work well under pressure. They really do, until they are put under pressure.
Yeah.
Then they realize, oh, I don't really work well under pressure.
Yeah.
Yeah. So many things are dicey, because we look at what are my minimums, what have I learned about myself. Then with this, I know who do I need, who do I not need. Then now from there I can now move to, okay, fine. Then now within my life, okay, fine, I know what I don't need. I know what I need. Then now when you're making me learn other things about myself, at least they're based on the threshold of what I already need.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But we've had incidences where you've had couples complain, or one person complain saying, this is not the person I married. They changed. And yet the other partner says, but you are the one who has made me become like this. What usually happens there? Because there's someone who can get married thinking they're very patient, they're very docile, they're nice or whatever, and then all of a sudden now they've manifested and become something else, depending on how the partner is. So, what happens there?
The truth that if anyone remains the same in marriage, there's a problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to change. Marriage has to change you. It must. If marriage doesn't change you, then you're never married.
Yeah.
Marriage must change you. But it must change. But the change must be mutual, must be accommodated, and must be also well balanced within it. We need to go through the change together. I need to grow with my wife. She needs to grow with me. There has to be a level of balance on how we are changing. If we are not changing, if I change and she remains the same, or if I'm changing and she has got a template to her, to the change that she wants, or she's changing on the template of a change that I want, then in that particular context, now we begin saying I'm the person that I married.
Yeah.
But in truth, I like asking this: who's the person that you married? You go to people one.
Yeah.
If I'm saying you're not the person I married, then who's the person that I married? Can that person be defined in this meeting?
That's an interesting question.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's always good to find out that the change took place and we all change. But maybe I might say you're not the person that I married, but also it's how much maybe I have changed. And the much I have changed can accommodate the person, that the other person as well. So I need to know what is the change. Yeah.
Yeah. So what if, okay, you do realize the change, and it's something that for you in your mind, you had the expectations that you're marrying a quiet person, a person who never raises their voice, a person who I probably knew they have no tempers, but they are now exhibiting those tendencies, and it's not what you expected from a partner. Is it possible? I mean, does this other person ever go into themselves and think, maybe I'm the one who's pushed this person to be like this? Is it me to change, or is it them to change?
90% of people don't think that way. 90% of people blame the other person.
Yeah.
Marriage is very interesting, because marriage blaming sounds always good. And it's difficult to find a couple that will sitting and saying that I made a mistake. It's very difficult.
Yeah.
In fact, more often than not, people say I made a mistake is because they want things to move on quickly. Not because they are remorseful.
Yeah.
So in marriage, I'm easier and more likely to examine what my partner has done wrong. I'm likely to criticize what they have done wrong. I'm likely to say that they need to figure themselves out. I've had cases whereby someone comes and asks them, can your spouse come? Spouse says, no, I'm not going to come. Let him figure himself out, or let her figure herself out. I'm not coming. I have no issue.
Wow.
So you see, and that is the problem. People forget that you made a choice to choose this person. You said yes to them. No one put you at gunpoint. You must have played a role in the beast that has come out. This is a role you've played. There is no way in a marriage you've lived with someone and they turned into an animal and you didn't play even the slightest role either at all. Either you enabled them, you aided them.
Wow.
There's something you are an accomplice. There's something you did in this whole process that made them to be who they were.
Yeah.
What if now you found them that way?
Again, you played a part, because if you found them that way, accepted them that way, you are an enabler. So there's always a role you played. There's always a role you played, and maturity is I take responsibility and say, I must have played a role. What was my role? Because if they were to change and you are the enabler, what is the chance that they'll come back into your grasp and you produce the same outcome again?
Wow.
And that is why there is never individual marriage counseling. They have to, both of them, find a way to both be there, either in different times or at the same time.
Yeah. But it's interesting, you know, I like that question. What if you've met them that way? So you've enabled them by accepting to get married to them.
Yeah, because you saw there are things that are unacceptable. And the illusion of marriage is that marriage changes people to become very good. Marriage heals. That's the assumption of marriage. You marry someone, think that they're going to heal you or they'll change. And I see people saying that, you know, a person says, I used to always drink. I always had nasty jokes. Right? Meaning you saw. But why did I choose to ignore? What does it say about me that I saw a dysfunction in you and I chose to ignore it and still marry you? The examination comes to, what did I see? Why did I feel that you are the only one I can be with, that I can live with this dysfunction? What lie did I tell to myself that I can change or correct this lie? Now, when I get married to someone in that frame of mind, then I'm assuming that the marriage will change them, or that we can find a way to navigate it. Truthfully speaking, you can find a way. But also, truthfully speaking, you must reconcile that I accepted this into my space, first of all.
Yeah.
So where is hope applied in this kind of situation?
Hope comes in when you go to the place and realize that I played a part. The world has 7 billion people with all dysfunctions.
Yeah.
This person with all the dysfunction felt that I can be the one to live with them. I'm the crazy one to live with them. Yeah. Now, am I able to see that there's a part of me that is dysfunctional but allowed them into my space? And number 2, are they able to see their dysfunction? Now, those 2 answers must both be yes. If one is no and the other is yes, there's no hope.
Wow.
Hope is two yeses. Yes, one is I have a problem, and I think that I've been a bad husband. I've been bad in what I've been doing. I need fixing. My wife sits and says, by the way, I also have my own dysfunctions, because honestly speaking, I don't know why I just wanted to marry you, knowing very well that you are like this. Now we need to look at these 2 things. If she says, yes, I realize I played a part, and I say, yes, I know I have played a part, then now we have 2 yeses. Remember, a marriage has 2 sets of problems. A marriage has got problems that are generated within the marriage, and a marriage has problems that are older than the marriage. Problems that are older than the marriage are harder to fix, because they require both parties to go to a place of reflection, which is older than the marriage.
Yeah.
The one who accepted the one with a problem, they have an older problem, and the one who has a problem also has an older problem too. So marriages that have got older problems, that I came with this dysfunction and it's eating the marriage, is a harder marriage to solve than a marriage whereby the problem was self-generated within the marriage. Self-generated problems can be found. You can find the root. The root can be, I came home to have supper, you are not cooked, and I got angry and I called you a snake. It makes sense.
Yeah.
But if it's older than the marriage, then the only hope comes when there's realization that, by the way, I think I've had a problem for a long time. I think this has been my issue for a long time, and I think I need help. Now we start from there.
So where do you draw the line between being a dictator by telling your wife or your husband you need to change, and even giving that person freedom and giving freedom to do whatever you want to do? So where do you draw the line? How do you balance that? Being a dictator and giving that person freedom.
You cannot dictate change. You can't dictate change. What you say is that, listen, this is what I want in my space. This is the person that I want. Yeah. Now, can you see that there's a problem with you? Yeah. Because I'm not going to accept this in my life. I can't accept this. Now, they need to think, one, is the marriage worth fighting for? Number two, do they want to be better human beings? Now, if they don't want to be better human beings, then of course the marriage will not be worth fighting for. So have I been able to, so I can say, I will not accept this again. I want you to change. I insist to change, but they're not changing really. They are being forced to change. That's not change. No, that is acting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Changing is, I've sat and thought, by the way, I've actually been a very bad wife. I think I throw tantrums here that should never be thrown. I need to sit down. I need some help. And more often than not, people don't even tell their spouses they need help. They go for help.
Yeah.
They go for help and say, I need help. Why? As a human being, I have a problem.
Is there possibilities for that to be hidden during courtship? The characters that are older than the marriage.
I think in courtship, if people are awake, they'll always see a sign. Courtship always has a sign. If it was courtship. If it was courtship. If it was not courtship, then you'll not see the signs.
Yeah.
You see, again, we must remember that marriage never has an absolute. And again, that's why there's the danger of also prolonged courtship. So even because marriage has no absolutes, I need to look at what are my bare minimums. Then I look at them. And I always say, when you're during courtship, what do people miss? People miss the interactions of the person they're in courtship with others. That's always the biggest blind wing. Is their interaction with others, not the interaction with you.
With others.
With others. That is where you see the gaps. That is where you see the pride, you see the arrogance, you see the meanness, the interaction with others. Nothing else.
Yeah.
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 And many people always draw courtship and marriage from how they dealt with me. No. The true you is how you deal with others. Because me, you can pretend because you want to impress. And many people got caught out, and you ask him and tell you, by the way, the time you're in a restaurant, and she shouted at the waiter. How they interact with their cousins, how they interact with people who are socially beneath them or socially above them. So the balances that you need to find.
Yeah.
And so in courtship, we miss it there. That's how it can hide in courtship. We are always caught up in courtship because we are so caught up in how they treated me. He is so kind to me. She is so nice to me. You see, we don't look at, but how is he with others? How is he with his siblings? How is he with his best friend? How is he with the waiter? How is he with the guy who sells at the supermarket? How is he with his colleagues? How is she with her friends? When I can get that, then I can see you when you are not impressing me, when your guard is down.
Yeah.
That is what we tend to miss.
Yeah. Wow.